Hi, we're the Death Hilarious, and unfortunately, we're the last of the good guys.
Okay, how shall I start this one? Maybe like do a little dance like that. Episode 2, Episode 2, Episode 2, Episode 2, Episode 2, Episode 2 is coming for you, it's coming for you. Episode 2 is coming for you. So we want to talk about Russia, Ukraine.
When we lived together many years ago, we would occasionally switch each other's computer backgrounds to
various different...
animated pornography mainly.
Yes.
So
I remember once you switched mine to, I think it was Jasmine.
No, it was not. It was
the Sultan's cock
no.
from Aladdin.
It was close. It was the Sultan from Aladdin, the old man, the Disney.
Getting fucked by the genie.
Getting fucked by the genie. You got it.
Genie. How could I forget?
And he was like, look, and it was, you know, when they really, those sort of animated porn pictures are so well drawn, they're even funnier because they look like they're real.
Yeah.
They were done at the time and not by some nut job 20 years later, which is what they were.
Stolen from Disney Studios.
Exactly, yeah. And I remember this one was the sort of the Sultan, sort of very gratefully kind of looking back as the genie, like, fucked him in the ass.
Yeah.
It's consensual.
And he's just going, and that was just my first wish. You wait until numbers 2 and 3.
Yeah,
and then I would...
Yeah, you would...
change yours. I think there was some Simpsons porn I changed to one.
Simpsons,
Bart eating out Lisa.
Yeah, this is the problem, you see, is that I would, like, when I did it, it was...
When he did it, it was tasteful.
It was basically like a consensual gay relationship between the genie and the Sultan. When Darren does it, it just gets incestuous and paedophilic very quickly.
They're animated. They don't exist.
I honestly, thankfully, don't know the legality of that. So, I don't know what to say.
He said in court, me think the animated pornography connoisseur doth protest too much.
I do remember, though, I think one of the ones I did show you was, and I don't remember any of no, I do remember, actually. It was...
I think about it every week.
Sorry, I actually got a tattooed on my arm. It was Eliza Thornberry blowing Nigel Thornberry, and I think Nigel Thornberry was the dad.
Yes, he was.
And she was the daughter.
Yes, he was.
So I was guilty as Darren for downloading...
I mean, you're actually crying right now.
I'm actually crying.
Moved.
I do.
So moved by the...
I'm so moved by...
It's like when people look at the Sistine Chapel for the first time.
It's beautiful.
When you saw...
when someone's heart's gone into something and it makes you feel things, it just, I'm just so choked up. Oh God. It's just...
I'm just listening to you talking about Eliza Thornberry
blowing
her own dad. There's a tear rolling down her face.
There was a tear running down. It's allergies. It's allergies.
Allergies
Weather's
to
changed
decency.
recently. Allergies to the law. But, yeah, we don't usually discuss pornography, or truth be told, our sex lives, because we both agree that we couldn't imagine anything more vile than thinking of the other.
I don't see you as a sexual being, you'd be happy to know.
Good. The problem is that everyone sees you as a sexual being, which is dangerous.
That's a problem.
And I do think it's going to be your undoing.
Oh, for sure.
At some point.
So we're going to get alluded.
Look,
we're getting to. We basically want to show you some ET porn. Okay?
I can't remember.
We just want to show you, people who didn't ask for it, some pornography featuring the beloved Spielberg character E.T. Okay?
Yeah, look.
It's a very good... I think all the budget was blown on...
it's not the only thing that was blown in this film. On the E.T. makeup.
Was made on the E.T. makeup. It's a very good... It's almost like I think
someone
may have. It's distracting.
It's very distracting.
It's almost as if somebody probably snuck into the warehouse at Warner Bros. Or whatever shot and took the original costume.
Stuff.
It is that realistic.
So it's German, I think.
Yes.
Could be some other country in Central Europe. We don't really know.
Yes. But we've located the full version.
Yeah.
Uncensored.
Yep.
So obviously we can't show that. So the best we can do is in the edit, I'm going to cut in some stills, sort of age-appropriate stills, so you can get a kind of idea of what we're watching.
You can get a feel for the porn film we're about to film ourselves watching.
Actually,
yeah,
definitely going to have to close the door because I live in a very small.
Darren lives in a warden-controlled flat.
Yeah, more or less. And
the warden might come and check if he's fallen.
Being, woken up, he's actually sleeping right now. Let's all count down together. 3. Shit, the police are coming. 2, 1, and play.
Let's go.
So E.T.'s kind of been given a mission. That's the idea, right?
Yeah, I think E.T.'s come to Earth to
pasted over this badly rotoscoped kind of
so grim
stock footage of planets and stuff. Yeah, there we go. Every expense spared. Right, now we need to talk about the
aesthetic.
The mise en scène.
The mise en scène. It's got this it's like a mix between. It looks like sort of late Victorian, so it kind of looks like the Importance of Being Earnest, or like an Oscar Wilde play or something.
Yeah. So some reason E.T.'s landed in the middle of a
high Victorian Germany.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah. I mean, again, you can only assume this is some sort of budgetary constraint. Like they've blown it all on the E.T. costume, and they went.
You can't stop saying blown.
Okay. They'd spunked all the budget on the ET costume, so they were like, look, all we can really get access to is I've basically got a storage bin.
Knockoff wedding gear.
I've got a storage bin full of fancy dress, and that's pretty much what we've got. And I've got the keys to my uncle's country home.
Yeah.
That we can have for the weekend. So.
Yeah. It's strange. It looks like the house might have belonged to a Nazi Gauleiter in the 1930s.
Here we go. Let's get into the good stuff. Okay, so it's very traditional at this point.
Okay. Oh, okay, right.
Okay.
Oh, wow, okay. So it's just straight to that.
Straight to it.
So the first human thing that E.T. has seen is a woman blowing a guy.
Yeah.
Right.
It's very much going to. I feel like it's going to set the template for all of E.T.'s interactions
with human beings. Yeah.
Okay, so she's licking his bell end. So he said the very. Alright, okay, now he's coming on her face in slow motion. Okay, brilliant.
I'm looking forward to the dozen people that see this go, wow, did you see the Death Hilarious podcast? They were watching porn in the second episode. They're like, they are just two straight white blokes after all.
Yeah. So it's a kind of a threesome. E.T.'s kind of getting involved. Again, very much witnessing here. This is all new for E.T. Do you think that's Elliot? Which one do you think's Elliot?
I don't know. It's probably him, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I could say that Snyder Enfield rifle on the wall dates it to at least the 1860s, but
so
which is true.
Historians out there amongst
that guy looks like Mike Myers.
Yeah.
It learned well. Oh no! It has a nice soft mouth. That's E.T. Thank you very much. How dare you!
This was my childhood.
Oscar Wilde and Charlie Chaplin there. Oh, I'm sorry.
Marie Antoinette and E.T. sucking their cocks.
So E.T. is now getting kissed goodbye by everybody. It's actually quite sweet.
Yeah.
It's not like...
the people have learned from E.T. E.T. has learned from humanity and is now going to return home. And I will never forget all you have taught me. And in the friendly way that you have received me, I will speak on my planet that the inhabitants of the earth, they are not wild, and that its customs, they are not so strange, but yes, interesting. I will try to teach my people everything that I learned here with you.
Oh my god.
It looks like it's lit with a car light.
Yeah, it does look like
it's just... So guys, there's a lot of other podcasts out there. You've got the Off Menu podcast with James Acaster and Ed Gamble, with the humorously eat food with kind of other celebrities and comedians. You've got the
socially distanced sports bar.
The socially distanced sports bar with Mike Bubbins and Alice
and
James. You've got
Steph
the
Graham.
Brian Cox podcast.
Yep.
I don't know what it's called, the Infinite Monkey Brain or something like that.
Infinite Monkey Cage.
Infinite Monkey Cage, sort of science and science-based comedy. And then you've got The Last of the Good Guys.
The Death Hilarious.
Where we watch...
where they slag off their mothers and watch porn.
Yes. We watch porn together.
Yeah.
Like, just like best friends do.
Yeah. But just to remind you, I'm straight.
And I don't know.
He could be.
I could be. Anywhere in the country, any city.
Yeah.
I guess maybe it's more common in cities, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess so.
But you can get them in towns. I had one in my hometown.
Telephone boxes, yeah, we're talking.
yeah. You know, one of the a bus stop. Yeah, they're all the community used to use.
One of those telephone boxes. They've now turned into a community sharing library. Very nice sort of place.
Yeah, and everybody used to have a local bobby. Local bobby on every street corner, just ruffling kids on their hair and making sure everyone got home safely, and didn't poke their noses in where they weren't wanted, and that's how I was able to get away with my crimes for so long. Yeah, no, we're doing local characters. That was kind of an example there of a local character. Everyone had local characters.
But in Swansea we had some crazy ones. I mean, the most famous one in Swansea was called T. Cozy Pete, and he was a actual tramp. Like, never begged, never asked for anything. Like, I do remember coming out of a nightclub once, and I ordered like a massive cheeseburger, and I was so drunk I didn't actually want it. And I walked straight, as I walked past him, he was just stood in the street, and I said, Pete, do you want this? I haven't touched it or anything. I just don't want it. And he went, okay, thanks. And he just took it. Like, he would never ask for anything. But he was just a nice guy.
And what was the sex like?
I don't know, Dan, because he smelled of feces.
Oh, okay.
There were other ones. There was a woman called June the Prune.
Okay. She liked eating her fruits, like being regular.
Yeah, well, I think she was just like a wrinkly old woman.
She was wrinkly and purple.
They just called it wrinkly and purple. They call her June the Prune. And my dad said she used to get a all-day bus ticket around Swansea, and she used to like going down the Mumbles, which is near the sea, so it's quite a sort of picturesque, posh part of Swansea. And she'd go down there and she'd ride it all day. And some of the drivers like didn't mind her, but some of them just found her an absolute pain in the arse. She would stand near the driver's cab and just sort of witter at him for ages. And a few of the drivers always had the same trick that she would fall for all the time. She was like in her 70s or something, and they'd pull up in this bus turning circle, like the other end of Swansea. And they'd go, oh, June, I think I've got a light out at the back. And then chance you go and have a look. And she'd go, yeah. And she'd get off the bus. And as she went, they just pull away.
Oh, really? See, I thought you were going to say as she went out the back, they just reversed over. Boom, boom, boom. Right, drive!
Well, that would only have happened once.
Yeah.
And
so she died.
Why didn't she die?
Why she died? Why is the end of this story not she was killed by the community?
Yeah. Then there was a guy called Alan Riley.
Okay.
Who he had this? He's like a very birdy-looking man, and he used to talk like this. And he had, I used to talk, and he would go 5 pence, boys. Have you got 5 pence, boys? And then he would go kidney cards, boys, kidney cards. I don't know what a kidney card is.
I would assume it's a birthday card made out of dried kidneys.
It's not. I think it's like kidney cards are like.
It's like the stamp cards. You get enough stamps, and you get a kidney.
Like a free. You get a free kidney from the butcher.
Yeah.
It's like it's like a Cafe Nero card, like a loyalty card, but you get a kidney instead. But one of my favourite characters from Swansea, and I have a story about him as well, was a guy called Leonard from Pennard. Now Pennard is like a suburb of the Gower. It's like one of the last sort of densely populated areas of Swansea before you hit the Gower Peninsula.
It'd be funny if it was a place that just didn't exist. Leonard from Pennard. Because I've looked everywhere on this map. There's no place called Pennard. Yeah, but it sounds good, doesn't it?
He used to sing into a traffic cone, like a small traffic cone.
Okay.
That was his thing, was that he would sort of stand at the top of, I think it was Oxford Street in Swansea, and he would have this traffic cone, he would sing into it. And then at Christmas time, his concession to sort of the season was that he would just wrap a bit of tinsel around the traffic cone, and everyone was like, and you talk about him now, you go on like a Swansea history group, and people are like, do you remember Leonard from Pennard? Oh, he was such a joyful character singing, and he would sing Christmas songs Christmas week. And then my best mate from school, Liam, his dad Jeff told me that in the 1980s he worked with Leonard from Pennard, and they were clearing out an old department store in Swansea that was going to be demolished to make way for a multi-storey car park. And they were going to go on lunch. And the foreman comes around and he goes, anyone seen Leonard? And everyone's gone, no, I haven't seen him. And one of the guys said, well, he hasn't come out because he would have had to have come past me downstairs. And then another guy turns up and he goes, has anyone seen my hammer? It's disappeared. And they look everywhere for this guy. And eventually they hear some commotion up in the attic of this building. It was like the old storeroom, and there's still like all sorts of shit left up there. And they go up. They can hear something going on, and they go around the corner past all these boxes. And Leonard's there, and he has taken this hammer, taken this mannequin, smashed the groin out of the mannequin. Filled it with underwear, women's underwear from a box, and in my mate's dad's words, was going for fucking Dixie on this fucking mannequin.
Wow.
Yeah, and now he's still this beloved character in everyone's book. I mean, I think characters are allowed a sex life, frankly. So
I mean, come on,
I'm not judging him.
You know what I mean? Whether it be, the Sultan from Aladdin. Or
Nigel Thornberry.
These guys should be allowed to have sex lives, and we should be allowed to document them and distribute them amongst our friends. This was like in my later 20s. I was sort of near the library, because there's like a local library. This woman shuffles up to me. Now, I didn't notice at first. She had a big long coat on. She was very short. And I didn't notice that she wasn't wearing any trousers until afterwards, because my friend Gareth was taking pictures, and he took a picture of the two of us, and I could show that picture right now because I've still got that.
You've still got it,
so maybe I'll put it up.
Okay,
right now.
put it up.
And she started chatting to me, and she started chatting to me about this book she was writing. It was like meant to be a science fiction book. It was called Planters. I remember she told me that. It was called Planters, right? And it was about these kind of plants. And I thought it was going to be like a Day of the Triffids kind of thing. Right?
Yeah, it sounds like that.
And in my sort of naive, kind of creative brain, I was thinking, wow, imagine this woman's like sat on the best novel that's ever been written. The great sci-fi novel, and she's written it, this older woman. Like, wouldn't that be amazing? I would love to sort of discover that. And that'd be great. So we basically exchanged numbers, right? I was like, oh, I'd love to read that. I know, the look on your face already. I know where you think this is going. And it kind of does go that way. And then fast forward to maybe 6 months down the line, and I'm living in Cardiff. And I think it was near Christmas, because I remember wrapping presents at the time.
Oh, God.
And I had got a message from my phone. It's a message, and it's basically what can only describe as a filthy limerick. And it says something like, I love you, you're the only one. Something like, please will you come up my bum. Like, I remember those 2 lines specifically, right? Will you come up my bum? So, and then I'm like, and I'm racking my brains, and my friend Charlie was there with me, and I was trying to rack my brains. I was like, did I meet someone in a club, like a woman, like got a number? But I wasn't drinking at the time, so I couldn't figure out. And then I was like, I'll just phone it. I'll just phone the number. And it was quite late in the night. I was like, I'll just phone the number. So I phoned it, and the number rings, and this voice answers, and it's like, seems like a very kind of, it's a kind of reedy kind of voice. And I was like, hello, and she was like, oh, hello, and I said, oh, hi, who's this? And she was like, it's me, it's AJ. And I was like, I don't remember you. And she was like, remember I met you? You were in the car park at the post office. And suddenly it all
Oh my
clicks, and I
God.
remember who it is, and I just kind of like froze, and I went, okay, oh yes, of course I remember. Yeah, how are you anyway? Oh yeah, I'm great. Bye, and just hung up. But anyway, this instigated then a series of calls and texts that she'd leave me answer messages.
Yeah.
Basically, she called me once. It was on Boxing Day. It really ruined my Boxing Day. She rang me up and she said, "Oh, hello there. Yeah, it's me again, AJ. I just want to say, I think you're really hot." Like, she said it like that. I remember. She said it. She kind of like, she sort of sang it. She said, "I think you're really hot. And I was just wondering if you'd like to come over and make a sex film with me." And I was like,
Oh.
wow, okay. And obviously I never responded.
No, well.
And there were a few text messages like that saying like, would I sleep with her? Would I like to? I remember her saying, would I like to act and direct the sex film?
Oh, she was like trying to appeal to your creative vanity.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was like, Tarantino is in some of his films. And I imagine this will be just as gruesome. She.
The problem is with most of these stories now that these people would have like some sort of diagnosis these days.
Yeah, I was talking about this with my friend the other day because we went to see his dad plays violin for the National Orchestra, so he gets us basically cheap tickets.
Oh yeah, right, yeah.
And I have to kind of sit through music I don't understand. He says he took a girl to his concert on a date once.
Yeah.
And afterwards they got talking. She was like, "Yeah, it was okay. I thought it was alright. I mean, I'm not really into music." And then they got us talking about like. And I've met some people who are like this.
Yeah.
People who are not into music. Now, for me, like, music is like...
It's just like the air I breathe, man. I was really worried you'd say something like that.
It kind of... It's
very
changes
important.
Your life.
It does, absolutely it does, yeah.
And for someone to go... that thing which, like, kind of crystallizes who you are as a human being, and if you feel like, lonely when you're younger, you suddenly hear a piece of music, or you listen to a lyric, or you hear the sound of someone's voice, and it just fundamentally changes you, and you feel less lonely in the world, and the kind of sounds and melodies that you hear, and they are the soundtrack to your life, and they conjure up memories for you, and special places and people. That. I'm not into that.
Yeah, well, they do exist. A friend of mine from university who I have a lot of time for, but he would. I don't know whether he still feels the same now, but he was well into his 20s when he said this, so it's kind of unforgivable.
It's excusable, yeah.
Is that he didn't understand my, I wouldn't even say obsession, the fact that I listen to music a lot, and he'd go, I will not, I don't like it. And I said, okay, what don't you like about it? And he said, I resent paying for sound.
That is, I mean, that's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous thing to say.
It is ridiculous.
I'm just make my own. Why would you buy the Beatles? It's just as good as Dark Side of the Moon. Because I occasionally listen to Desert Island Discs.
Oh, yeah.
And there are some people on there, and you think, why are you even on here? The premise of the show is you pick like your favourite tracks that are meaningful to you. Like
I
remember listening to
life
Charlie Brooker's ones. They're all like novelty songs, and he kind of goes, "Yeah, I'm not really into music." Like, well, don't be on the show then.
But then I think the most boring one by far is Sir Richard Branson.
So let me just familiarise myself. Richard Branson was the head of Virgin Records.
Virgin
right?
Records.
Okay.
Yeah.
So surely great taste in music.
Nope.
Right. Okay.
He goes. The first one I think he chooses is Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells. He goes. His next song he chooses is Summer Holiday by Cliff Richard. She goes, "Why have you chosen that?" He goes, "Because it always reminds me of going on a summer holiday."
So what would you do if you were on a desert island?
Or die of exposure, probably.
Yeah. Indecent or?
Oh yeah, very indecent. Well, I would have taken a lot of my clothes off because of the heat.
That's true.
It depends what the fuck's on the desert island. People, what would you do on a desert island? Like, I don't know, how big is it?
Okay, no.
Is it like Swiss Family Robinson? In which case I'd be alright, because there's water, there's coconuts, there's like animals running around and shit. Be like, whatever.
No, it's the Falklands.
That's not desert island. There's sheep there, there's penguins there, there's civilization. They're not.
Yeah, so I'm just asking, what would you do if you were just
That's like saying,
stranded on the Falklands Islands? Would you go in a shop? Would you have a coffee? I'm just asking what you do.
Right, yeah. I'd probably do the battlefield tours.
Okay, yeah, that'd be nice.
I'd like to
That'd
go
be
to
good.
Goose Green and Mount Tumbledown.
Yeah.
I'd do that.
I'd probably just see if they had like a Starbucks or something, just camp out there using the Wi-Fi for a couple of hours, probably.
Yeah, absolutely. I bet the Wi-Fi's terrible on the Falklands.
Yeah, probably is actually.
One of the worst things that's happened there.
That's one of the worst things that happened there, is improper Wi-Fi installation.
Yeah.
You right, Grandad?
Oh.
Hang on, just put me hearing aid on.
That's better. I love you, Casey. I've left you all my money that I didn't gamble away, which is £20. I'm sorry, I knew it was meant to be 10,000.
Grandad Casey's dead.
No, I know, I killed her. That's why I'm in this police psychiatric facility.
So yeah. So that's the end of episode 2.
That's the end of episode 2. Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you enjoyed the audio description of hardcore pornography.
Yes.
We hope you enjoyed the story about local characters who, some of whom tried to have sex with us. And we hope you enjoyed what Glenn would do if he was trapped on the Falklands Islands for a day.
Yeah. Battlefield tours, basically.
Yes. And then what I'm thinking of doing is like just letting it fade out as we talk.
Sounds like a good idea.
We'll put the socials up.
Yeah.
On the front there like that.
It's pretty good.
And then just like sort of.
I mean, it's authentic if it's not entertaining. That's what I'd say. That's at least one thing it's got going for it. We're not like forced laughing, like clapping seals.
Yeah. Or going like, it's been great, like, it's been so good to talk to you. And it's so good to connect with this guy over here.
You'd be gigging in cover with the Northern Line. Yes, man, it's so wild.